Welcome to Alive and Sober with Reno C, where real life, recovery, and faith collide. Hey guys, welcome to Alive and Sober. We are here at First Presbyterian Church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, sitting in a corner down where the youth group is. So today, I thought it would be wonderful to have story time with my good buddy Donnie. Donnie and I met on the golf course, golf tournament thing, and then we run into each other and started talking and got acquainted and realized we had quite a bit in common. So Donnie, first of all, welcome, man, and I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
It'd be fun, dude. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, like just in general, like a little life rundown, and then, you know, where you went, where you were, and where you are now.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Central Ohio. So I was born in Akron, moved down to Central Ohio, Columbus, had two brothers. My dad was a patent attorney, my mom was a teacher, and had a great childhood. We moved out to the country, and it was fun. It was, me and my brothers were close. We had some other friends in the neighborhood, but it was country living.
Yeah.
Parents were both alcoholics their whole life. I didn't know that they were alcoholics until much later. Really got into sports. We had a baseball field in our backyard, like a football field in the front yard. Yeah, Field of Dreams. Me and my brother watched Field of Dreams for like 2 weeks, and then my younger brother built a Field of Dreams. Like actually dug out an infield in our backyard. So sports were a big thing, and we were good at it. We would compete. I was the middle of three boys, so I had one to chase, and I had one chasing me. So it was just constant competition every day.
Yeah.
And it was like we were looking for recognition in sports, really, like kind of looking for that love and that attention that we were looking for in sports. And I was good at sports early age. I played baseball, basketball, football. I ran track. My parents wouldn't let me play tackle football until I was in 7th grade. They just didn't want me to get hurt.
Yeah.
So in 7th grade, I was the quarterback, and the very first play of the game, I fumbled the snap. I could never get the snap right, but I fumbled the snap, picked it up, and ran for a touchdown. And that was the first time I got my name announced on the PA speaker the next morning at the school.
Yeah, that's fun.
I like that
isn't it,
feeling.
dude?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I like that. I didn't like I'm a pretty shy kid, but I liked the recognition of doing something special and getting recognized for it. And that was the first little introduction into sports. So man, I excelled. I could run really fast. I had the gifts that it takes to be a good athlete. Like, spent my time, instead of doing chores at home, I found out I could have practice and get out of the chores. So man, I dove into every sport I could play. And football was really where I excelled the most. So in high school, I was all Ohio in football and baseball, and had offers, like had some pro guys, some baseball opportunities to get drafted, but also had some scholarships to play football. And I was going to go to Ohio University, and some other schools that offered me scholarships, and I accepted to go to Ohio University to play baseball and football. And then Ohio State came around, which Ohio University is a smaller school down in Athens.
But they beat my Mountaineers this year.
Yeah. They're good too. But Ohio State is a different.
They beat West Virginia. I mean, it's like when you have to tell people, what WVU do? Oh, they lost to the Green Ohio school.
The other Ohio University. Yeah. But Ohio State came around and offered me a scholarship late, and I decommitted from Ohio and went to Ohio State. And man, I got to Ohio State, and man, it was scary. Like, it's the professional football team in Columbus, Ohio. So there's
almost a
Cincinnati.
professional football team.
It is. It's in every bit like a professional football team for 18 to 22-year-olds. Like, it's an amazing place. And man, worked my butt off. Like, I redshirted my freshman year, got a lot stronger, like got eating, like gained 30 pounds, And then I started the next 4 years that I was at Ohio State.
So you started your freshman year at Ohio State?
Yeah, my redshirt freshman year. Yeah, I started for 4 years. I started like 48 games at Ohio State.
Wow, dude.
And man, I went through it. So we were 6-6 my first year. And man, what's the first time we didn't go to a bowl game in however many years? And like the finger was pointed at the new guys. So man, I had a choice either, all right, I'm just going to give it up, or I'm going to double down and work my butt off and really commit to it and win my spot back. So Mike Doss he took my spot, and then I got the other spot. So I played free safety for the next 3 years with Mike. So we were the two team captains our senior year. It was a journey for him to beat me out, and then to get to know him on a personal level and really care for him, and then push each other and compete with each other every day. Was a great lesson. Like, because football, man, it puts you in adverse situations every day, constantly. I mean, you're in constant adversity. So learning to overcome that adversity really paid off. And we ended up winning the national championship my senior year.
I remember that.
In 2002.
Yeah.
And I got drafted by the Titans in 2003. And on draft day, and I mean, so the way I dealt with the pressure of football was drinking. And really finding any way to escape the pressure and just to relax. Just relax, but I mean, I would drink like a fish.
Right.
And I would always try to keep up with the linemen. and
Yeah.
Man, there's no keeping up with that. I mean, it was crazy. So a lot of alcohol poisoning. And I've got when I drink, man, I get my face turns red, my ears light up, like I break out in eyes. I've got an actual allergy to it.
Not just the allergy we talk about, but I've got a
real like allergy to alcohol.
Yeah.
Like my body does not react, and I get really sick the next morning. So, but it never stopped me, because I mean that was my release from the pressure of playing at that level of football, and I felt like I was bonding with people, and I was under the illusion that I was bonding and creating great relationships with people at the bars, but I mean, it's just not that way.
Dude, I can't even imagine. Like, I went to a little NAIA school to play baseball, and first of all, I got there and I was like, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
Like, I may be one of the best players in my league, but when I got to college, and we played Carolina and Clemson and stuff, but it was still a smaller school. I didn't last. I'd been in military school. I hadn't been around girls or booze or anything. And as soon as I started playing, but playing in a situation like that is nothing like playing football at Ohio State. And can you tell me just a little bit about what that pressure is like? Because I mean, you have 90,000 people?
100,000, 105,000 people in the stadium. And I mean, it's almost like, I remember the first game I played at Ohio State, it was at the Meadowlands in New York. We played Miami, Florida, my first game, and it was at the Meadowlands in New York. And man, I just remember it was like having an out-of-body experience coming out of the tunnel, just like floating, watching myself kind of third-person view.
Yeah.
Because the adrenaline rush was so strong. And I'd never heard... I mean, I'd heard that. I'd been to games before, but I'd never been in that perspective of being a participant in the game.
Right. Not I'm here with 100,000 people. There's 100,000 people watching me every move.
Yep. And reacting in real time. So do something good, you hear the roar of the crowd. Do something bad, you hear the silence and sometimes the boos. It's like, man, you get kind of... You gotta make sure that you don't react one way or the other. You gotta keep that kind of leveled off, man. You can't get too high, too low. You just gotta stay. I had to get into a mindset of pure, like, channel my anger, channel my sadness, channel everything I had into energy and focus.
At 18.
At 18, yeah, and be in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, always, man, anytime you're thinking about the future or thinking about the past, like the most important play is the play that you're on, this play right now.
They always say that you have to have a short memory.
That. Yeah, you gotta have a memory of a goldfish.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking about the mistake I just made, you're 10 times likely to make that mistake again or make something worse.
So you're partying like crazy in college.
Yep.
And then you get drafted by the Titans. How do those things transfer into each other? So you get drafted.
So I got drafted on April 25th, 2003. I was the 154th pick, and it was my birthday. It was my 23rd birthday. I knew I wasn't going to get drafted first round, so I was hanging out with my family, drinking beer on the back porch, waiting for the call. And man, I just remember I couldn't eat the whole day. I threw up like once. I was just so nervous, like, of where I was gonna go, what my life was gonna look like. It's so surreal,
Life changing in one day.
Yeah, in one day, and you don't have any clue. Like you think, I thought maybe I had a good interview with San Diego and maybe this team, but man, I forgot there was even a team in Nashville for the Tennessee Titans.
Well, this year we've all forgotten there's a team in Nashville.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. It's been rough. But man, I got the phone call. It was actually the Patriots picked me, and then Tennessee traded for me. So I didn't get a call from Bill Belichick, but I got a call from Jeff Fisher, and I was just so relieved.
Yeah.
I remember, man, then I could start drinking again. So I started drinking. The news camera came out, interviewed me half drunk. I was wearing a shirt that said honky on it, like a yellow shirt.
Yeah.
2003, it was crazy. And man, I was just so relieved and so excited, but I was just really nervous again. Like I didn't know about, man, it was just so much uncertainty of like, all right, now what? We got the rookie mini camp and it's just the rookies. And I was like, man, okay, I can compete with these guys. And then all the vets showed up. Steve McNair, Eddie George was on the team. He was my hero growing up.
Dude, Ohio State.
I'm on his team. It's like, man, I was like starstruck.
Yeah.
I remember Neil O'Donnell was the backup quarterback. So Steve McNair was our starter. Neil O'Donnell was the backup, and he had a full head of gray hair. I was like, man, this is a grown man, like feeding his children.
Yeah.
Like everybody was good. It was a big jump from high school to Ohio State because I was a small school, high school in Ohio to Ohio State. That was a huge jump, but the jump from college to the NFL was a little more, everybody's good. Like everybody's the best on their team.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always did though was to deal with that pressure was to drink and smoke and blow off steam.
And the weird thing is now you've got a money.
Yep.
Now, in college back then, we don't have to get into what was going on, but it wasn't like now.
No, it was different.
You're getting a couple $1 million. You're a second string quarterback making $2 million a year. It wasn't like that. So you get into now you sign a contract in the NFL. It's on top of the world. I mean, what's cooler than that? I mean, every bonehead backyard football player as a kid like me dreamt of that. I've learned from guys I know that play in the NFL that it looks like that. But I mean, our friend Craig was like, when people yell, you suck.
Yeah.
Like that hurts me, man.
Yeah, it's rough,
I watch football and I'm yelling at the TV, and I'm like, that guy sucked. And then it's like, okay, Reno, throw some pads on and you go out and do it. I'm not talking about that. I paid good money for this thing. But he made it so human to me. And for Craig, he was like, I didn't even want to play football. I don't know what Craig's problem is. It infuriates me because I'm like, that's everybody's dream and you get it. But I found in my life, things that I thought would make my life perfect ended up destroying it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much work involved and it's such a big commitment. It's a everyday thing. And there's no point that I ever, in the 8 years that I played in the NFL, did I ever feel like I was entitled to be there I had to earn it every day.
Right.
Because I could be cut any day.
Were you still blowing it out at night?
Yeah, I never had, not every night, but if we had any half a practice or half speed practice, I would go drink that night.
Yeah.
So, like maybe 3 nights a week, for sure 2 nights a week, definitely after the game. But man, I mean, that's just how I blew off the steam. And man, just to deal with and to bond with each other, it was a way for guys. The NFL and football in college it's a drug culture. I mean, every team has a pain management clinic in the building, like in the training room. It's all pain management. It's all right. You hurt. You're gonna hurt. Everybody's given. You're gonna feel pain. All right. Well, let's minimize the pain. So I mean, you get introduced to painkillers, anything to take the edge off and feel better. So it's.
Do you know Jason Peters? Played for Nebraska.
Yeah,
And
I
he was
know of
number
him.
one pick by
Yeah.
Carolina. He wrote a book about it, about how he started out, hurt his neck, and it was painkillers, 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 painkillers. Then he couldn't play anymore, and he's cut off from them. The book's called like Hero of the Underground, and it's about him flipping to heroin to fill that opioid thing, and it just goes into, he's in recovery now, and I just saw him a couple months ago doing great. But
Yeah, well, you get introduced to something and they don't say anything. You know nothing about addiction or anything about dependence, drug dependence, and I've experienced it and seen it in the locker room where, I mean, you get inadvertently you're hooked on painkillers.
and you're living your dream, and you don't want it, I'm guessing, right? From an outsider's perspective, you're living your dream, you don't want it to stop. If you can't play, you're not going to get any money, and you're going to be gone. And it's like, just cover it up, 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 cover it up. Get through the game, get through the game, get through the game. Is that kind of...
Yeah, it's a unwritten thing, or it's kind of unspoken, but I mean it's prevalent in the NFL for sure. I mean,
Where did that take you?
well, painkillers, I didn't get hooked on painkillers until I was done playing. So I'd gotten a prescription for tramadol on a like Canadian online pharmacy, and man, that turned into pills, and then the pills just grew up into whatever I could find. I didn't understand dependence, and then getting sick.
Right.
But once you take so many painkillers, I mean, you have to have them to be just normal, just to get to normal. And man, that sickness and avoiding that was a terrible thing, and that led me into buprenorphine and going to rehab for the first time and getting clean, and then switching from that to other things. So alcohol, I watched my dad drink himself to death in 2008. So I stopped drinking and then started to abuse painkillers, and stopped playing in 2010, and then really struggled with the painkillers in 2012. Got clean from that, put those down, and then had a brief, I just went through every substance. So I just tried everything else. Like, I mean, just you name it, I tried it unsuccessfully. And so I just kept, I kept it. Now, I wouldn't admit that I was an addict. Like, I was just trying, I'm like, I might be addicted to this, but I could do this. So I just switched addictions.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times until, I mean, I've been introduced to recovery in 12 steps in 2012, and I was 25. So I've been in and out of recovery since 2012.
Yeah. A lot of us
Yeah.
started and went off, and you know, we've done episodes about relapse and stuff like that. And I don't want to overstep my bounds, but do you want to talk about your lowest point?
My lowest point was really 2014. So, man, I was trying to get sober. Opiates was the issue. I had a 1-year-old son. My wife had just gotten pregnant. It was about 20 weeks into the pregnancy, and we went to the doctor, and there were she had low birth fluid, and the doctor advised us to abort the pregnancy, and immediately my wife and I both refused that. And he explained that it was a genetic thing, like either there's a genetic mutation involved, or like there's only a few reasons for the low birth fluid, and none of them are good. Like, so he kind of prepared us for a stillbirth or a deformity or something. And man, I thought I was getting punished, and selfishly I thought it was all about me. Like, and
We do that, don't we?
yeah, I just constantly think everything's my fault, or I'm just so totally self-absorbed.
Right.
Especially coming out of football, man, because you get worshipped and you're treated differently. and you start to believe, okay, maybe I am different. And I mean, it's just a kind of a so you start to worship yourself or worship the game in general.
Right.
And man, anything that you worship that's finite is going to end. And I mean, idolatry and everything.
I'm a comedian, and I think I kind of had a little bit of the same thing. I started, what do they call it, drinking your own Kool-Aid or whatever. Like I started believing that I was better than other people.
Yeah.
And that thing about, it's all about me. I know that sounds crazy to people who haven't been in recovery, but to those of us that have, we all feel like, and it doesn't even matter what it is. It's even if it's you have a really low feeling of yourself. I would try to portray myself as people wanted me to be more than who I really was. Like I was like a little kid inside. Like, I don't, what's going on? I'm flipping out like, like a duck on a pond where underneath you're just going crazy, but you look like you're smooth on top.
Yeah.
But everything that happened, like you said, was being done to me.
Yeah.
Like, why would they do this to me? Why would she do this to me? Why would she? I never looked at the common denominator that I was in the center of all this mess. Like, what's the one thing that's in the middle of all your messes? Me.
Yeah, me. Wherever you go, there you are. And that's where I was.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, but you found out about the baby.
2014, and that was my daughter. And man, I didn't know any way to deal with that feeling of like, I don't know, just pure selfish indulgence. And I just wanted to feel better. So I would just look for any substance, and I was going to go try and overdose, find some opiates. And man, I couldn't find any opiates, but I found everything else. And so I left my wife at home, and I had committed to my wife and my young son are better off without me, because I had this self-pity and just the horrible self-view of myself. And then losing football, I hid behind that mask. That helmet is a great mask to play that part, but we're not that person. Like the person I played on the field, and where I could use that anger and all that emotion and cathartically get rid of it by violence.
Yeah.
Doesn't work in real life.
You have no release. You can't just run off and deck your boss.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you get arrested. If I acted like on the football field, I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Like the transition was rough. Like, so losing my identity, having a wife and children, and being a father, and kind of not accepting the responsibility of all that, and just being selfish in general, just led me down that dark road where it was my best idea was they're better off without me, so I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna go overdose. And man, my wife chased me around town for a couple days, and man, she was pregnant, driving around, found me in a parking lot. The police found me, like she had the cavalry after me, and man, I gave up. So I surrendered. The only way out was to tell the truth and to start this thing, do recovery the way it's taught. And so I was really introduced to the big book, the 12 steps. And
so that was your rock bottom.
That was rock bottom, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so you started going into recovery. And you had already been in before?
Yeah, I'd been introduced to it.
In and out, kind of.
But never had that gift of desperation like I had that day.
Some of us, like, I needed a bottom, but I look back at it and go, I didn't need to go that far. Why did I take it so far? Why couldn't I grab it here? Because I wouldn't have learned.
Yeah, I wouldn't have I thought I could do it by myself.
Yeah.
Until that day where I finally realized, like, I was bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt.
Yeah. And then, so what was your next move? You started going to meetings? Did you go to rehab?
I've been to a bunch of treatment centers. Started to go to meetings. Got a sponsor, and man, I in and out until I didn't find any lasting sobriety till I did the steps and did the work. And the self-reflection and making amends and the whole thing.
Right.
And then helping other people.
That's the biggest thing for me, man.
That unlocked something when I started helping other people go through the steps and sponsor other guys. Man, that really turned the corner for me and found a purpose.
That's it, the purpose, right? We're very similar in that, and so is a lot of people in recovery. I mean, but like that service part of it, it fills my brain with positivity, even though it's not always positive. I mean, it can go a bunch of different directions. There's something about just the simple fact of doing something for somebody else that fills that void in me that I was searching for before, but just was searching for the wrong stuff. I was searching in TV shows and how many tickets I sold and stuff like that, as opposed to, like, it hit me. And I'm not smart enough to have thought of this. I think I thought of it, but normally when that happens, I heard it somewhere, so I don't want to. But that it means more to mean a lot to a few people than a little bit to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it was such a simple thing and an easy place to start, where I don't feel the pressure of having to make other people happy that I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just so I can get their money and I make them laugh, and then that's how I make my living. And like, stand-up was so much fun. And when I was just driving around, I had no apartment for 4 years. I lived on the road, just drinking every night and partying every night. I had no responsibilities. I had no apartment. You know, I was sleeping in rest area parking lots if I had to get to a show and stuff like that. Best time of my life, right? But it wasn't about money. I didn't have to provide for anybody. It was just me. And I know what I can get by on a couple bean burritos at Taco Bell and a 12-pack. I'm good to go. You know what I mean? It was great. I was like, this is awesome. But I was chasing something that I loved. But then when it flipped into be about money, a lot of the fun came out of it for a while. Like, it was like, I kept doing it and I was successful at it, you know, but every time I'd get what I wanted, it sucked. Like, I was like, I'm more miserable. I chased this thing and it didn't do anything. But in recovery, I found, like, if during the day I talk to another alcoholic or addict and we have a conversation and it's uplifting and we're encouraging and we're like that, I feel like, okay, the rest of that stuff I do in my day it's just going to happen however it happens and whatever. But I got that in today. Yeah. I got that little piece in.
When you get in the moment and you help somebody, man, you get out of yourself and you share your experience, strength, and hope, and man, it gives you a lift. Yeah. And man, it always makes the day better.
Yep.
Like those are the highlights of the day, especially when I'm having a bad day and worried about myself or past or future things. Man, just getting into the day or in what's happening with somebody else. Yeah. Clicks me out of that self spiral.
Yeah. If it does nothing else, it takes your mind away from whatever. The stuff I worry about, 90% of it's not even real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen. I let my brain go off into no man's land where it's like, I have these visions and thoughts that, like, this is going to happen and da-da-da-da-da-da. Then it doesn't happen. And I'm like the weatherman. I don't take responsibility. But I'm like, whatever. I got it wrong today, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I wasted that whole day muttering to myself like a freak wandering through the house. I can't believe they did this. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Or like, if I wake up in the morning, and I don't do it all the time, but the days that I do, wake up, say to God, get in my head before I do, you know, help me be a light. Let's go. You know, just guide me. That I learned that from my wife, who does it really way more than me. But like, it does tend to set me. For me, instead of that, it's a meeting. If I go to a recovery room, that starts my day off where I'm like, all right, remember who you are, remember where you were, remember where you are now. Yeah. I know you had some low points in all this. Now you're sponsoring guys and you're involved and you're trying to help and you're trying to do all this. Where was God in all this throughout your life?
God was always there. I grew up Catholic, and man, I was more focused on the rituals and the weird things and the incense, and man, I felt a connection with God when I was a kid. Yeah. And then football really became my focus and my spiritual foundation. And then I had a coach Tressel, and in college. He was my second coach. So my first coach got fired, and then Coach Tressel came in, and he was all about spiritual bases and setting that foundation and relationships. And I remember being against it. So it took a year, about a full year of him driving that point home that that God is the answer,
Yeah.
and the foundation, and that what I was worshiping was finite. It was going to end at some point. And he introduced it to me, but I kind of, once I got drafted in the NFL life, going pro, kind of lost that and reinforced that I was the reason for all this stuff. But
Yeah.
man, it was a journey. So recovery really backed me into my spirituality, like really reinforced it and gave me concrete examples that my spirituality and God was responsible for all the good things in my life, all the things in my life, period.
For me, it seemed like I would take all the credit for stuff, and that was cool. But I wouldn't take any of the negative stuff because that wasn't cool. Like I was like, popularity or this TV show or that, this was all me. Well, you screwed this up. That's because they keep messing everything up. Like I wanted the credit without, I wanted to take all the responsibility for the credit, which wasn't mine. And then at the same time, take zero responsibility for whatever the negative stuff was, because that's beneath me. You know, if there's shrapnel from my greatness, I mean, you're just gonna have to eat it up. Yeah. That's just the way it is. Did you feel like that?
Oh yeah, man. I think that's natural. Just denying the fact that I made mistakes and not owning up for those mistakes and taking the time to make amends is what really. There's something spiritual in doing that process that really drives that home. And man, it just changes everything. Like, just changes your attitude. Once you get that death of self, like realizing that you're not the center, you're just one of many.
Yeah.
And that we're in this together and that we need each other. And there is a higher power that controls everything, and all I can control are what I do, my actions, and then if I got a smile on my face or not, my attitude, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, the only things that I have control of can have the ability to change how I feel.
Yeah.
If I'm not putting myself first, I'm putting others first and treating others well and in the way God wants me to.
Yeah. And we have to face the fact that we didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about everybody. I'm not talking about just me and you.
Realizing that I'm not God, like.
Yeah. Which is weird. Your level was much different than mine. Like you were on TV every Saturday and every Sunday, and you're under a microscope the whole time. And, you know, people look at the NFL as gods. College football, too. Yeah. You look at a revival that Billy Graham used to do or whatever a long time ago, and you look at a football game, and other than the fact there's no game on, it's still packed with people. They're cheering on, but they're cheering on something that they dreamt of doing and love it. Oh. Or I do. When I watch football, you know, somewhere in my head, I still think I can throw a football. Like, I'm like, why would he make that pass? You know, and it's so dumb. The humanizing of people that are professional athletes or anything like that is so forgotten. Yeah. You know, it's like when I watch the interviews and so they say the same thing, you know, it's like, well, you know, first I want to thank God for this and I want to do this and you know, my teammates and my da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, why are you even interviewing the poor guy? Like he doesn't, he doesn't want, especially after they lose, you know, let him go, man. Look, he lost, you know, it was a tough day. Yeah. Nobody wants that, you know? They
are humans. Like everybody, like have human issues. Like struggle with the same things.
It was weird for me.
Everybody has self-doubt. There's overconfidence, but I mean, everybody has an ego too. It's like you balance your ego with, I thought I was pretty humble, but I'm next to a bunch of really, really self-conceited, self-absorbed guys. Like, so I had a different view, a skewed view of my humility. So I had some false humility. Like I realized that I wasn't as humble as I thought.
Did you think that the seeds dropped from going to church as a kid, from having the coach at Ohio State, things like that, when you had to face recovery? did it make it easier? Because I always think it made it easier for me that I kind of recognized that there was a God. When I was a kid, I really did. Like that childlike kind of, yeah, you know?
Well,
And then I got in my own head for a while and everything, but I had something to come back to. Like when you go through the steps and, you know, acknowledging that there's a higher power. For me, it's Jesus, but like acknowledging that I had a little bit of that in my background to go, oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Did you feel that? Did that coach influence you in a way that helped you?
My parents at first, my coach, and then my dad passed away through complications from drinking, and I had a daughter, so I had a girlfriend who broke up with me, and then she got pregnant. And then I didn't know it was my daughter until after the pregnancy, which she was born as my daughter. And then I was really depressed at that point. And God dropped an angel into my life, and that was my wife. So I met my wife right after my daughter, a year after my daughter was born, almost to the day. And man, she was like, I worshiped her for a long time, but she was an angel that really introduced me to a lot of things in the gospel, and really kind of had Jesus in her heart.
Yeah.
And it was contagious. Like it really set me on fire. She kind of led me to the Lord in a big way, and kept that, and then strengthened it. Every mistake I made, like she was there to support me and push me through, and really she was my biggest cheerleader and the biggest support. Like I leaned on her. She was the rock that I needed.
Yeah.
To really get through the last 20 years.
And to chase you around and find you in Nashville, she was living it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
a lot of people talk about it, but like, my husband's in trouble, I'm going to find him and I'm going to get him. You know what I mean? Like that, for people at home, you know, there's no right, wrong, or indifferent way of handling somebody who's an alcoholic or an addict. I mean, you could give advice and say whatever, but every situation's different, right? Like
absolutely,
you know. But for the people out there who stick with it, and with their partner or with their kid or with their family member, God bless you, because that is an amazing thing that you don't hear about all the time, because you guys are still married.
Yes, yeah.
And you've become the man you are now, and you're giving credit to her to leading you to God. It doesn't get any better than that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, beyond blessed. Like, she is definitely heaven sent. Like, I'm so grateful to have her in my life, and to have her stick by me and really walk through this with me. Yeah. And always sanctifying me, and always pointing me back to God, and to the truths that are in the Bible and in the gospel. And man, there's just no words to really describe like the gratitude and just love that I feel.
You can tell too when it's real love if you just golf with somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can look at a couple and go, God, they get along so well. Then you go golfing with a dude and he's like, she drives me freaking nuts. Yeah. You are always so positive, and you've been through it to get to that point, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we're just so similar. We had similar, both of our parents, alcoholics. There's addiction in both of our families, and we were put together for a reason, and I think we're living that out.
I love it, dude. As life for you right now, what's it like? What's it like for you as far as how you feel, how recovery's going, because in the recovery world, I at least try not to get ahead of myself, because I could jack this thing up this afternoon.
Yeah.
9 years in, and I could still totally throw this all out the window in a second.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I try to keep that mentality. And, you know, people say 1 day at a time. Sometimes I was like 1 minute at a time.
1 second.
1 second. Like
10 seconds at a time.
Just, God, please get me through whatever this is that's going on in my head.
Yeah.
How's life for you now, man? Like, how is your...
Well, I managed my expectations. Like, early recovery, my expectation was all right, stay sober, stay alive. That's a good day.
Yeah.
Like stay sober, stay alive. I had to lower my expectations of what I was trying to make happen. Man, you get some sobriety together, pink cloud goes away, and then you realize, well, all right, I need to help other people. So I coached football, I taught school for a long time. So I moved to Jackson, Tennessee, and then moved to Ohio for a couple of years, and then it'll be 3 years in August that we moved back to Nashville. And once I moved back to Nashville, recovery was my focus. So I filled up all the time, most of the day with meetings. So I retired from teaching and coaching and just focused on pure recovery and trying to live out the principles and use the principles in 12-step programs every day to the best of my ability and get the results and have that spiritual awakening. And man, so I filled it up with meetings at first. I'd go to a bunch of meetings during the day.
Yeah.
And then see how I could serve my family and my kids. So I take my kids to school, I pick them up from school, try to do laundry for my wife and help with the
Look at the big NFL guy doing
household
laundry for his
stuff.
wife.
Yeah.
I love that,
Yeah.
dude. That's real life.
Yeah.
That's not the facade that guys take on of like, I don't do that, I don't do that. Dude, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do all that stuff, but man, but when I do it and I speak my wife's love language, man, it makes me happy to help other people and then help other people and be a better dad and ask my kids questions that my dad never asked and try to sanctify them and lead them to the Lord and see where they're at. My kids are both very spiritually attuned and curious, so I'm learning with them. We go to church, not every week, but quite often, and just to try and be the best version of myself, the version that God wants me to be for my family and and for my friends, for everybody I come in contact with. It's just really a better way to live. It's just how good can I be? It's just like playing a sport. It's you either get better, or you get worse every day. So, and you get good at what you practice. So as I practice using the principles of the program in my daily life improves greatly. So, man, there's a solution we figured out a way to overcome addiction. The bad news is that it only works a day at a time, 24 hours at a time. So, I mean, I got to do it every day.
And be patient.
I got to connect. I got to work on my prayer meditation. That's a big thing. And the meditation. I've asked a lot. I try to listen a little bit more today than I ask.
Yeah.
And see what comes through. And God speaks to me through other people.
Isn't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
Like I'll sit in a meeting or be talking to somebody, and I don't even, most of the time if I don't go, if I'm like, I'm not going today, in my brain I go, nope, today's the day you're going. Because as soon as you think that,
you hear something like, man, I need to hear that.
one little golden nugget,
Yeah.
somebody will say something, and I'm like, oh, I totally needed to be here. That's exactly, I couldn't put it into words, but that guy did, or that girl did, and it's like, yes, that's right. That is the way, and I just need to be knocked back on the tracks a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you were inspiring as a football player, and as a huge football fan, you're more inspiring to me now. And it's amazing to watch. And I'm so thankful that you were willing to come on and tell your story and get into it. And I ask people this who are 12-steppers, and I'm totally catching you off guard. So if you're like, dude, I don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I'll ask guys what their favorite step was, or what step meant the most to them when they were going through. I'm about to start doing mine again, because as I've started doing this podcast and I'm talking to people, I'm like, ooh, I missed that. Oh, I should have done this. Step 4 is, you know.
Yeah.
And I know 10 is to keep doing it, but it kind of, do you have one that hit you, whether it's accepting that God was in control, like?
And I think for me, I mean, step one was the most important one for so long.
Yeah.
And it's the one that I can't ever not do perfectly. And the rest of them are good. But I think the step 10 is the one I use the most and is the most useful for me in my daily life now that I've got a few 24 hours under my belt. That step 10 is really good. Like, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna do harm to people, but as long as I make amends for them promptly,
right,
within, like, before I go to sleep that night, like,
right,
that I can sleep at night, and then things are a lot better. I don't start carrying all that weight.
Yeah. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for doing this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Dude,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you more than you know. You guys, thanks a lot for listening or watching or however you're getting this. We went through a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I was thinking about, we were sitting here talking, is the thing about addiction and alcoholism is it doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living, what color you are, if you're big, small, whatever. Addiction hits everybody. It can hit you no matter what your perception of yourself is, what other people's perception is of you. It's undefeated. And we can either handle it or die. And that's the bottom line. But I just want to let you know, I hope you got some encouragement out of this. I hope it dropped a little seed. And if no one told you they love you today, I do. Thanks for being here, y'all.